Hi guys, welcome back to Lover's Court, the place where secrets are spilled, hearts collides, and drama takes the stand. Before we jump in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a case. Today's story is by you/consciouscry1112, posted on r/whatdoIdo subreddit. My boyfriend won't have sex with me unless I wear a corset. So, I, 18 female, have had a boyfriend, 25 male, for about 9 months now. We met off of mutual friends and instantly hit it off. He's perfect to me, chivalrous, caring, honest, attentive, etc. But before I met him, I had serious problems with my weight. You see, I have PCOS, and I've gained a lot of weight because of it. I was 5'3" at 154 pounds, and now I'm 176. I became really insecure about this. I did tell him I was basically infertile in case this means anything to anyone. He was okay with it. So, to combat it, I started wearing a corset. Over my clothes, under them, it didn't matter. At first, it was hard to breathe and extremely painful to wear, but after a while, my body got used to it. However, I avoid doing exercises or whatever when I wear them because it starts up again. Anyways, it made me feel really good about myself. But when I met my boyfriend, and on every date we went on, I would wear this corset, and he didn't seem to notice or even care, so I thought it was all right. And I never mentioned it explicitly because why would I? But about 3 months ago, we actually went all the way and took off my corset, and he stopped and stared at me like I'd grown a second head. When I tried to keep going, he sort of pushed me away and said he wasn't in the mood. I soon went home after that. We didn't really talk to each other for a few days, but a few days later, he asks to meet up, and I do. And when I arrive, he tells me he had to stop because he wasn't used to seeing me that way. When I asked what he meant, he said, "I thought you were a little skinnier." I thought he was about to break up with me, so I said I would do whatever it took to lose the weight. And he said it wasn't possible, so I should just keep the corset on if we ever did it again. So I agreed. Which brings up the main issue. About 2 weeks ago, we were going at it, and we soon stopped. I couldn't breathe. He asks why I can't keep up, and I say it's because it's hard work with the corset on, and I say I'll take it off, and he says don't, or we won't go on. So I keep it on. But at this point, I get extremely sweaty. I swear I smell, and honestly, my body has been hurting me so bad since we started. I try to lightly bring it up each time we do it and send him signals, but he's like totally dense. When I tell him I'm not in the mood, he says I'm never in the mood. When I don't moan enough, whatever that means, I'm not enjoying it enough. I'm just not sure what else to do. I get more pleasure just doing it myself, honestly. I don't want to break up with him over this. I truly do love him, and I believe he's the one. Other than in bed, he's amazing outside of it, and I don't want to give that up over something as material as sex. So please, Reddit, what do I do? P.S. This is a burner account. Edit 1. When he said it wasn't possible when I told him I'd lose the weight, he just meant because of the PCOS. I did share in the past that I tried weight loss and saw no progress. Edit 2. It's only been an hour, but after reading all your comments, I realized I may be way younger than I think I am. I've decided I'll speak to him this weekend. I won't wear a corset, and I'll tell him I'm not going to anymore, and I'll see what happens. Honestly, I'm extremely terrified he'll leave me. You all have expressed that it would be the right thing, but I truly thought he was the one, and I'm scared that I may not find this dream man a lot of you are speaking of in the comments, lol. I don't think he's the type to insult or abuse me verbally. We'll see this weekend. Thank you all for your kind words and enlightening about his age. I've seen horror stories about age gaps, but I truly thought it was more okay, seeing as I knew him only after I turned 18. I'll take this into consideration moving forward. Thank you guys. Update 1. I've scheduled my meeting with him this Saturday, so most likely no future updates until then, and I won't be breaking up with him until we firmly talk about it. This may be irrational, even plain stupid, but I still love him, and I don't have the heart to do it. Anyways, I wanted to address a lot of the main questions I see. So I met him during Freshers Week before university actually started, but I was still, freshly, admittedly, 18 at the time anyways, and we didn't officially meet until 2 weeks after the event. I now understand that the age gap is questionable, but I want to see my parents' reaction to it first. B. I also didn't lie to him about not wearing a corset. During our first sleeping together, we'd already been dating for 6 months, and I have never not worn our corset on dates. He never acknowledged them, even when I wore them over my clothes, and I felt I didn't need to, because why would I? C. Thank you to everyone who gave me information on my PCOS. You've made me hopeful I can still become a mom when the time comes. My boyfriend doesn't want kids, so we'll see what happens when the time comes. D. For those asking me to get therapy, I'm really considering it. I'm currently not in the financial situation to afford any type of therapy, especially not on my paycheck. My boyfriend has explicitly told me he won't be paying for anything like that, so it was mainly out of the question for me until now. E. And finally, for those asking me to try losing weight again, I have. It's not much, but I've applied for a membership at my local gym, so we'll see how that works out for me. I haven't told my boyfriend yet, but he might be happy. It might make the confrontation less harsh for both of us, lol. F. No, we don't use protection or plan Bs. He's usually spontaneous with this kind of stuff, and though it's usually at his house, doesn't want to use anything. He says nothing will happen, and I suspect it's due to the PCOS, but I'm planning to speak to him about me getting on birth control. Again, thank you all for your kind words and enlightening about his age. I've never received this much support from such a large amount of people before. I can't respond to everyone, but I'm upvoting where I can. I'm totally grateful. Thank you, everyone. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. You shouldn't be with a guy this old, even if you're legal. He wants you to do grown women stuff while being barely legal. Sister, please leave him. It's deeper than a corset. OPP's response. Oh, I never considered it a big deal. He was a student at the university and my friend's older sister introduced us. Friend in question is 19 female. Commenter 2. You shouldn't have to wear a corset to be intimate. That's really horrible for you physically and your confidence because he's clearly saying he doesn't find you attractive without it. That's just really horrible. I think you should seriously consider finding someone who loves you, warts and all, as they say. OPP's response. I never thought about it that way. His argument was that it made me feel pretty anyways, so why not just wear it all the time? OPP on feeling insecure about herself and her boyfriend's compliments. OPP. I am still insecure, but I don't think it's his fault. I do want to work on myself, but when he compliments me and stuff, it makes me feel good about myself, which is one of the reasons I love him. However, I was thinking about doing therapy, but my boyfriend said he wouldn't pay for it though, lol. Not that it'll change my mind, I'm just seeing things he said previously in a new light. Commenter. Why would he pay for your therapy? Do you have insurance? If you're dependent on him and he won't pay for a doctor's visit, that's weird. Also, there are counselors at school or through health insurance. OPP. Well, I'm currently just not in the financial situation to pay for anything right now. Sometimes he likes to pay for my groceries and stuff, so yeah. I'm actually in the UK, so all we have is NHS, and honestly, I'm not really in the mood to go through them for anything. The school counselors are usually packed. I would just feel like a burden, and I don't want to sit in line for long hours. I know there are alternatives always, but honestly, with everything I'm juggling with right now, it's best to not do it currently, but I'm looking into alternatives. Was OPP dating her boyfriend when she was under 18? OPP. No, nothing like that. I only met him around my freshman year of university, but I was still freshly, admittedly, 18 at the time anyways, and we didn't officially meet until 2 weeks after the event. Has OPP spoken with her doctor about her PCOS issues and birth control? OPP. I've been told by my doctor that my birth rate is low, but I just chucked it down to being infertile. Unfortunately, he's not a fan of condoms or Plan Bs, though I'm considering speaking to him more about birth control since a lot of people echo the same thing. OPP on her relationship history. I have to come clean. This is my second relationship. A lot of things have been situationships and one-nighters. I admit my first relationship wasn't really that long either, so this is my longest, but I'm learning from these comments what to expect, and I'm grateful so many people are trying to teach me.
Update 2, 5 days later. So we went out for dinner today at 6. I didn't wear a corset today. He noticed, actually. He asked me why in casual conversation, and I said I just didn't feel like wearing it. And he said, well, that's a shame. Conversation was quite slow after that. So our dinner ends quite early, like around 2 hours later, and I asked if he could drive me home. I ask if he wants to detour while he's driving, and he says he has things to do. So I blatantly ask him if he would break up with me because I won't wear a corset. I like to think I sounded confident, but I wasn't, and I'm sure he heard it too. He says it's not like that, but he's already told me he won't have sex with me unless I wear a corset. So I tell him we're never having sex again, and he just stares at me like I'm crazy. I told him I'm not wearing corsets anymore, and then he gets really upset. He says I'm acting immature and says we've already had this conversation. So I tell him I'm tired of him not doing things that I want. I tell him I don't want to wear a corset anymore. I tell him I'm tired of the way he talks to me when I don't listen. I tell him I want to go on birth control, and I tell him that I want to have kids one day. So we don't talk again for the rest of the ride, and he drops me home, and he says he thinks we should take a break. I say, fine by me, and I shrug, and then he accuses me of cheating because I'm acting so dismissive about it. Then I told him straight that if he can't love me the way I am, then maybe we should have more than a break. He doesn't say anything after that and leaves, and he hasn't texted me ever since. This happened almost 2 hours ago, and I've just been crying the whole time. I'm waiting for him to text me and say we're over, so I'm contemplating texting him first, but I'm scared as hell. I've never talked back to him like that, so we've never really had any arguments. I'll update this if you text again tonight, but I just wanted to let you guys know. All your lovely messages did a lot for me this past week. I've just been smiling at everyone's kind words. I've never felt so seen through this tiny screen before. Thank you all for your love and support. Update 2.5. So I ended up falling asleep yesterday while waiting and thinking, but he actually texted me at 2 a.m. today saying he was going to come over later today. I haven't said anything, but I assume he'll be here at 2 or 3, which is when I'm back from volunteering, so we'll talk today. He said he discovered something which is really worrying me. He would kill me if he ever saw these posts, because he recently got told that I've been telling my friends about our relationship struggles, and he didn't talk to me for like a week. He was so mad. He said I was airing out my dirty laundry, which I get, but all I told my friends was that he wasn't listening to anything I say to him. I dread to think of what might happen, but hopefully it's nothing important. I'll create another post if what happens is too long for one post, but thank you all for staying updated. Your kind words helped me through the night. I was just reading them before I fell asleep. You all truly don't know what your words mean, but they're getting me through this. Bless you all. Relevant comment. Commenter 1. If he requires you to modify your body, you need to dump him. This post is crazy. Why would he force that and make you cry? It's terrible. OP's response. It made me really upset when he started shouting at me, calling me immature because I didn't want to wear a corset. He didn't act like this a few months ago. He never raised his voice. Update 3. December 15th, 2025. 2 days later. My ex-boyfriend wouldn't have sex with me unless I wore a corset. Hi, this is the third and probably final update of this really sad situation. For those of you who need it, here's the original and the second update. I'm sorry for posting this so late. This happened several hours earlier. I just couldn't really bring myself to start posting about it as soon as it happened. But I thought that for all the kindness, compassion, and support I received over the last few days, the least I can do is tell you what happened. So he showed up at mine's at like 4 or 5, which was later than I expected. I wasn't wearing my corset after volunteering, but when he came over, he said I looked nice, he was sorry, and he was ready to listen. So I sat him down and I told him what I wanted to say. It was everything I previously said, just more collected and with a better explanation. When he finished, he asked why I was saying all this stuff when I hadn't originally, and I said it's because I received advice from friends. He then proceeded to pull out the Reddit post and ask if this was the advice I was talking about. I told him they were better friends than he's ever been to me, and raised his hand at me but didn't touch me. At this point, I was fearful. My roommate wasn't in, and I didn't have any type of protection on me if he did try to hit me. He became quiet for a while, then he just started shouting at me, like actually screaming and getting all up in my face. I didn't really know what to do, so I just pushed him and told him to grow up, because he was talking about how I was airing our dirty laundry on Reddit, how his friends had seen it, and how people were gaslighting me.
He asked if I had only made this attention-seeking post to get compliments from people about how I look good with or without a corset. Then I told him to leave because I was already in tears after he started calling me fat, ugly, and talked about how nobody would love me the way he did. I'm embarrassed to say I almost believed him. He just looked so pitiful. The next thing I know, he's trying to come on to me, and I said now was clearly not the time. He kept talking about how pretty I looked without a corset, and how he needed me to survive, and he wouldn't get off of me. So I punched him at the spur of the moment, and he let me go. I broke up with him on the spot, and I refused to elaborate, because I had already explained, and he wouldn't listen. He soon left after I threatened to tell the authorities, and I blocked him everywhere. I haven't told anyone about this in real life. I haven't left my room. I haven't been to class today at all. I couldn't bring myself to do so. I genuinely feel like I've lost a part of me because I truly loved him, but I won't give him the satisfaction of talking about it in this post. What I felt before doesn't matter because you're not the same man I fell in love with before. I'm sad it took almost 160,000 plus people total seeing my posts for me to understand that. But now that they have, I couldn't be more grateful. I've received so much support and learned so much from this experience in the last few days than I did in our whole relationship. So, if you're seeing this, fuck you. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Tell your friends and family ASAP. Contact the police and put in a complaint, so if he harasses you again, they will already know about him. OP's response. Thank you. I will tell them in the coming days. Commenter 2. Just FYI, a lot of DV happens after the woman leaves, so please take everyone's advice seriously and make a report today and let someone know. See if you can stay with a friend for a few nights, or one can come stay with you, etc. Put an alarm on your door so that if someone opens it when you're asleep, you'll know, and maybe even set up motion-activated recording on your laptop or whatever. Just be safe. OP's response. I never considered this, but after the way he behaved, I think I will do something like this. I've just told my best friend about this, so I'll see if I can stay with her for a few days. The nearest police station for me is a while away, but I'll find time to report it and maybe ask my landlord if it would be possible to change the locks on my apartment. He has a spare key. I don't have the money for alarm systems or anything, but I'll be sure to ask my neighbors if they can look out for me and tell my landlord the rundown of the situation. Thank you so much for caring. Commenter 3. Well, guess that's that then. I would talk to an attorney and have them help you get a restraining order. I wouldn't do this without an attorney because assault charges can go both ways. You don't want to say anything that will get twisted. OP's response. Right, that sounds really serious. I didn't consider it, but I'll talk to my parents since they have a family lawyer. And that's it for today's case on Lover's Court. What's your verdict on today's cases? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Someone out there just might need to hear your judgment. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're always updated when court is in session. Thank you so much for your love and support. Until next time, court is adjourned.